keep using, and that's pure evil. And it's
Yeah, they need
because
to
they
be
saw what was inside this
executed,
house.
yo.
They're
How they did them
describing what
kids
they
and
saw
shit.
inside this rural home. 16 children
Yeah,
in deplorable conditions, in
that's
dire
fucked
need
up.
of medical treatment. And
I
now
was
4
watching this
suspects are
last
being charged
night.
with 16 counts each, all
Oh,
4
hell
pleading
yeah.
not guilty. The Ohio Attorney General gave us an update on the
They're
case
gonna get the
just about an
chair.
hour ago.
I've
Hell
done these types of
yeah.
cases for a long time, and I've been in incredibly
White folks
poverty-stricken
crazy,
areas
boy.
in the inner city. I've been in poverty-stricken areas in
How they
rural
did them kids and shit.
Ohio.
I was
And
on with 18.
I've never seen anything like I saw
Hell yeah.
today.
Stole them kids,
Joining me
mistreating.
now is Alex Perche and our legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer. And if you don't mind, guys, if we have the picture of the 4 suspects, because one of the most important things that investigators are trying to do right now is to get any information on these 4 people. This is the Siders family. You've got Elizabeth Siders there with the long dark hair in the corner. Next to her is Gary Siders Sr. Then Christina Siders is the older woman at the top of your screen, and then the younger man is Gary Siders Jr. These are the 4 people that have been arrested. These are the 4 people that the AG and the prosecutor describe as pure evil.
That's
they're
evil.
not going to get anywhere near those 16 children. That's what we're learning now,
16.
because they are in police custody.
Damn.
All of them being evaluated
Yeah,
and
they
checked
need a
out.
death penalty
And
for
one
that
of the most
shit.
disturbing things that the sheriff said,
Oh man,
he
like
has
he about
seen
to
his
die already.
livestock treated better than these 16 children. They were found in a
Yeah,
12
yeah.
by 12 space, surrounded
Pray
by
for them
human
kids and
feces.
shit.
He said it was just disgusting.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
of whom, the sheriff and also the
Just
attorney
mess.
general,
That's fucked
said
up,
they've never
boy.
seen
How they did them
anything like
kids.
this in their
16
life.
children.
Alex Perche, the details are horrifying. One thing that did stand out to me, though, the sheriff saying the only joy that we're seeing in this is that we're going to change 16 lives for the better.
Yeah. Glad they rescued.
And listen, I mean that's the only place to kind of go from here if you're law enforcement. But as you mentioned here, I mean this is something that Ohio authorities have called unimaginable. We heard from the state attorney general Andy Wilson, who said this looked like a third world country, that he can't get the smell out of his head. And as you mentioned, the sheriff there for Benton County said that he had seen livestock kept in better condition than the children inside of those houses, but 16 of them inside. They range in ages from 18 months to 18 years old. They were largely kept in that 12 by 12 area. And we're also told that this is an interfamilial situation. It's not a human trafficking case, according to law enforcement. But 7 of those children had to be taken to Columbus area hospitals. 2 of them were airlifted, and at least 1 child had to be intubated. Police say they actually stumbled upon this situation. They were executing a search warrant in a parallel investigation when they found this house with all those children inside.
I'm glad they did find that.
The 4 individuals, Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders, have all pleaded not guilty to the 16 counts against them. And now, Kira, those children are in the process of being placed. The sheriff says timing was of the essence here, because had they waited another 24 hours, they would likely be dealing with a death.
So, Alex, let me ask you, you say they stumbled upon this while they were carrying out another search warrant. Were they carrying out a search warrant on this home? Was it tied to these family members?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So that search warrant was related to a parallel investigation, but Kira, that is it's a fascinating question. It's an important question, but right now authorities have been pretty kind of cagey
but I wonder who they were looking for when they stumbled upon that house.
What this parallel investigation entails, or why that particular house was highlighted by law enforcement. It's something that we still don't yet know. The other thing I would say is
18 months to 18.
It was actually a shock that children were even inside of that house. We've heard from neighbors, and even law enforcement repeated this afternoon, that a lot of folks didn't even know that the Siders had kids. That is how
they had 16 kids.
They kept a grasp on these 16 children. Authorities saying that was also an indicator that they knew that they were doing something wrong here.
All right, so Brian, gosh, I mean, how do you even defend 4 people like this? I guess that's one question I have for you as a defense attorney. But also, what charges do these 4 individuals face?
How they did them kids.
I don't think anybody, if they, are we have to say alleged crimes right now, but they were found in the home with these kids. They're behind bars. The AG, the prosecutor, they've seen the evidence. You know, what's going to happen to these four people?
Bro.
Yes, Kira, so a lot to unpack there, but I'll do it like this. They are charged with multiple counts. It was called child endangerment in the second degree in the state of Ohio. That's punishable by 2 to 8 years in prison. And I don't imagine there will be a judge who's going to say, you know what, we'll run these charges concurrently, meaning at the same time. I could see a judge saying, for each and every one of those children, we're going to have some amount of prison time. So if you do the math, you're really looking at not 2 to 8 per charge. You're looking at 16 to 128 years in prison, depending on how the judge wants to stack these charges. When it comes to defending, like compartmentalize. I understand how horrible these allegations are, not just as a defense myself, but also as a father. But the way that we do it is everyone deserves their opportunity in court to make the argument.
You look like he kind of off and shit.
Who has mail going to the house? Were some of the people merely visiting and simply were there at the wrong place at the wrong time? What was their knowledge of what was going on in that home? And what I can imagine is the first person, and I say the first person because there probably will be a first person, the first person to speak to prosecutors and give up information and hope for a better deal is going to find himself in a much better place than the other 3.
Let me ask you, Brian, real quickly, because you just mentioned something, and I can give you a bit of information. And that the home's ownership is listed to a trustee whose name is not among the 4 people that have been charged. This is information that our producers were able to get. It's reportable. Apparently, as of 2025, the total assessment valuation for the property was $68,670. You saw the condition of this home. But ownership listed to a trustee whose name is not among the 4 people charged. Apparently, they've been living in this home for 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah, and so I think a big thing is going to be talking to the community, right? Talking to neighbors. Who did you see coming in and out of the home? How often? What was their schedule? We've heard reporting that people didn't even know there were children in that home, or to the extent of how many children were there. And who's moving in and out of there, bringing groceries, picking up things, dropping off things. That's
somebody had to know.
Prosecution, because the defense is going to try to wiggle their way out of this and saying, I didn't know what was going on. But this is a home that, from my understanding, had 5 rooms, not 5 bedrooms, but 5 rooms, and was 1,300 square feet. You're not going to miss 16 children there. So make the arguments that you want. I think this is a very difficult case.
16 kids, how you going to miss them?
Allegations are in fact
from 18 months to 18 years old.
16 kids living in a 12 by 12 space.
Oh, hell, that's just small. 16 kids.
Brian Buckmeyer, Alex Crochet. We're going to stay on this story, of course.
Whether you're a professional or simply take pride in tackling your own outdoor project,